Before the world went digital, buying PC games meant lots of boxes, discs, and praying that you get a clean install on your system. But in 2003, one platform would not only change how we buy our games, but reshape how we install and play them forever. This is the story of how a simple software for updates became a multi-billion-dollar game library. In the very beginning, shortly after dropping out of Harvard University, two men by the name of Gabe Newell and Mike Harrington were software engineers at Microsoft in the early 1980s. Both of them would work on big projects, with a very notable one being Windows NT. But Gabe and Mike didn't plan to stay with Microsoft forever. So in 1996, the two men would actually quit their job and pool their money for a small game studio based in Washington, going by the name Valve. Valve's very first game would be a first-person sci-fi shooter, built with a new thing they'd call the Quake engine, which would end up giving them an idea for an even bigger project. Instead of just your average first-person shooter, they wanted a more unique game with a story unlike any other first-person shooters. So after just 2 years of development, the studio would release a brand new game that would ultimately redefine first-person shooters forever. This game would be Half-Life, and it was a hit. Nearly everybody knew its name, with thousands of copies selling daily, growing at a rate that was just too good to be true. In fact, Half-Life was so good it would even inspire another first-person shooter named CSGO. But it wasn't smooth sailing just yet, and there were still a lot of problems that they had to work through. Updates and new patches had to be downloaded manually, and because this game was the first of its kind and online, cheating was unbearably rampant. Multiplayer felt almost impossible to organize, and the worst part is that every time a new version of this game came out meant another trip to the game store. Valve knew very well that in order for this game to grow, something had to change, and they needed to find out quickly. Sadly though, not everybody was on board to continue. In the year 2000, just after the release of Half-Life, Harrington would actually step away from the project, leaving Valve for good. But Valve wasn't over just yet. In 2002, the team would spark up an idea, a pretty radical one at the time. They wanted to create a software that would update their games online without the need for install disk. So after almost a year of brainstorming and development, the team launched a brand new online game updater called Steam that would make its first appearance in September of 2003. And the public? Well, they absolutely hated it. Downloads were slow, the software would constantly crash, and some people even claimed that it was spyware. The start of Steam was very rough, but Valve wasn't done with the project just yet. In fact, they had a secret weapon. On November 16th of 2004, the most anticipated game of its time would launch, Half-Life 2. And guess what? There was only one way that you could get this game, and it was through Steam. This had the Half-Life community furious, and rightfully so, but over time Steam began to grow on them as the software would improve with faster downloads, new features like Friends List, and so much more would be added. But there's one particular change that would push Steam to the top, making it what we know today. In 2005, Valve would open up Steam to third-party developers, and this was huge. Just like that, small indie devs had a global platform. Even games with a decent player base would no longer just survive, but they would thrive on Steam, allowing developers easy access to an audience, and gamers an instant access to an unlimited market of games. And by 2010, Steam had become the king of the PC gaming market. In fact, it had become the biggest platform for digital game distribution ever, years before Epic and others even dared to step in. As of right now, Steam still holds its place as the top game distributor for PC games ever, accumulating a net worth of nearly $11 billion. With the gaming scene becoming more popular than ever, Steam will face its biggest battle yet, with new competitors like Sony, Epic, EA, and so many more. Will they still be able to hold their place as number one? But that's it for this video. If you liked it, feel free to subscribe. And yeah, peace.